Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Hi gang, Rob here. It is the evening of 7 October 2013. Just a short video for you tonight. I promise it won't run more than 35 or 40 minutes. Just kidding. Just kind of an update on the new Spyderco Domino. A knife which did merit a 35 or 40 minute review on the channel not more than a week ago. You know, I said in that video that as when we were looking at the edge, there were some parts of it that weren't quite right yet after I sharpened it. I said, I know where they are, but I'm not going to tell you. And I'll tell you. I had a little difficulty getting this knife sharp at the base of the edge, right about here. And I just had a couple snaggy spots. Right in this area. What I noticed as I tried to go back and do my blade finishing again was something kind of interesting about this CTS XHP steel. I would say that it has better than average grindability, meaning it's pretty easy to remove material from. Not as hard as LMAX or even ZDP 189. About the same as S30V, frankly. A little easier to remove material from than S35VN. But what I did notice is this: once you get the coarse grits through, it's a little difficult to get a really consistent, highly polished edge on this steel. I would say it is grindable, but extremely abrasion resistant, meaning once you get to the, let's say the 1000 grit stone, it's pretty hard to have much effect on this steel. So my 1000 grit stone didn't have as much effect as I'm used to it having. The 2000 grit polishing tape just didn't seem to phase it much. And then so when I'm coming to that really super thin push cutting phone book paper or hair whittling edge, it just wasn't very consistent from the root of the blade to the tip. What I decided to do because of that was to make it as easy on the steel as I could. And you guys know I've got this thing about sharpening choils. Well, if you notice, this doesn't exactly have your normal Spyderco profile at the base of the cutting edge. Maybe if I take my hand away, you can see I put a little sharpening notch in this blade. Right in front of the forward choil, right in front of the plunge grind. Just a little 60-degree sharpening notch that I applied with my medium sharp maker stone wrapped in sandpaper. There's a little radius at the peak, and it gives me just enough room to clear that plunge grind. And I did sort of recontour where the ricasso meets the blade That area is usually kind of jacked up from Spyderco. I don't know if you can really see it, but I've smoothed it out a little bit. There's still one little sort of deep gouge in it that I didn't take all the way out. And I kind of rounded it back off so it looks fairly factory. What that did is it allowed me to get to the base of the blade a lot more cleanly, a lot more uniformly. I did notice another thing too that's interesting about this blade grind. You notice how the breadth of my secondary bevel actually gets thinner right at the back. The thinnest part of this blade is right here, which I thought was a little bit interesting. Usually that's a spot where a blade thickens. Not on this particular model. Don't know if I love that or don't. Doesn't matter. It is what it is. And then a couple other things. I talked in my review video about the grind lines that we get from Taichung and how they're very tactile. You can feel them, and how in the pivot mechanism your detent ball actually rides on them and feels a little gritty. Yes, it does smooth out over time, but I did decide to sort of help this one along a little bit. What I did was I laid a little sort of worn out 600 grit sandpaper on my strop and just tried to follow exactly the direction of the satin finish grind lines from the factory and just take the peaks off, and then finished on my strop. I did it on the blade tang and also on the main grind of the blade, and it just makes it a tick smoother. It didn't really affect the appearance at all. But I think it might make it a little bit better slicing through abrasive materials like cardboard. It won't tend to hang up on those on the texture of those grind lines quite as much. I also broke the corners of the spine just a little bit. I don't know if you can tell. I'm not talking a chamfer or even a radius. I just broke that really sharp corner. I don't know if that's even anything you can pick up visually. Other than that, the knife has remained pretty much bone stock. Smoothing out nicely, just sort of wearing in. Hasn't developed any play of any kind. And I've continued to carry this thing daily, and I just can't leave it in my pocket. I mean, wow. It's just so much fun to take out and play with. The knife, guys, the knife. One other thing I wanted to mention that I did not in the review, where I got this knife. You know, none of the normal online retailers had this knife in stock when I bought this one. I've sort of become kind of a loyal Blade HQ customer, and when I called them, they really didn't have any idea when they were going to be getting any more Dominoes, so I went to eBay, which I really don't like to do much on a knife this expensive. I like to talk to the knife shop and have them pick me out one that's really, really nice. And but I use this eBay store called bladeswelove, and what I'm going to say before I say it, you guys need to know I have no relationship with bladeswelove. I will not be compensated for this shout out I'm going to give them. I first became aware of them as I started watching Lion Steel products on eBay. It seems like they carry quite a few of them, and the SR1s, 1As, and SR2s seem to always pop up in my searches in their store. So when I did a search for Dominoes and I saw that they had 3 in stock, I thought, you know what, these guys, they really brag up their service on their listing pages, so I'm going to give them a shot. And they had 100% feedback. And I don't think they have more than a couple thousand total feedbacks. They're a new store. But let me just tell you, I ordered this thing at about 2:30 on a Friday afternoon. And later that afternoon, I got a tracking number notification that my order had shipped. And it shipped priority mail. They didn't just print a label and mark it shipped. They got it in the mail, guys. I can't remember. I think they're out west. I should have looked it up, but the town that they're in escapes me. And I live in Indiana, of course. And in Monday's mail came this knife. So they shipped it Friday late afternoon. It was in my mail Monday morning at 11, and wow, what a great job they did packaging. It didn't come in a small flat rate box. It came in a padded envelope, priority mail. It was well packed with lots of packing material around the knife box. And then they had wrapped the factory Spyderco box with the eBay invoice, like wrapped like a Christmas present. Beautifully done. And when I opened it up, it was just the knife was perfect. It was perfectly packaged, thoughtfully packaged, precisely packaged, and they shipped instantly. So even if you're a little leery about eBay stores, and I'm going to put the link to the homepage of their eBay store in the description. I'll try to annotate it too. They stock some good quality brands and some good quality knives. If you ask them a question about the specific one they're going to send you, they will answer it before you buy it, and they usually run buy it nows, which is kind of nice, and their prices are pretty darn competitive. Their line steel SR1As have been running right in that 170 area for the satin bladed versions. Of course, everybody's sort of a little high on Dominoes right now. This was, $203 or something, free shipping, and they, one of a few places who had it in stock the day I ordered it. So check them out, guys. And I wrote them a pretty glowing message for feedback, and they responded very thankfully, and they're just getting started. So if you need something and it's not in stock at GP or Cutler Shop or Blade HQ, and you resort to eBay, I can heartily recommend Blades We Love. That's all I have tonight for the Domino update. Grace and peace, guys. Have a good night. Talk to you soon.